I'm Sarah, Ausha's US Podcast Ambassador and host of Ausha's Podcast Tips. Today, I'm going to show you how to boost the number of your podcast downloads using cross-promotion. Welcome to Tips! Cross-promotion. Exchange of visibility that usually is free between two podcasters that allows them to share their audiences and increase their number of downloads. The first technique of cross-promotion is to spread the word by dropping in an ad of your show in another podcast. What's the pitch? You want to introduce yourself and briefly describe the concept of your show. You can use an ad that you've pre-recorded in a style like this. Hi, do you know Tips? It's the podcast from Ausha that helps you launch and boost the growth of your podcast.
I'm Sarah, and each week we release a new episode that answers the questions that podcasters ask themselves.
All right, I won't bother you anymore, and I'll leave you to your podcast episode. Happy listening. The advantage of this technique is that it's super easy to do with the podcasters that you already have a partnership with. All you have to do is integrate your audio file into their original episode, and it's done. Easy. If this first method of distributing ads doesn't appeal to you, you can always ask the podcaster that you've partnered with if they can simply read an advertisement instead of playing an audio file.
Welcome back to the latest episode of Sarah Ha 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 Ha, the podcast about comedy. I'm your host, Sarah, but before today's episode, I want to tell you about a new podcast I think you're going to love called Tips. It's a podcast that will help you launch and boost the growth of your podcast. And not only will you love it, but you're going to love the host too. Trust me, she's amazing. Check it out wherever you get your podcast.
It's always more convincing when a podcaster recommends a show directly to their audience because their audience already knows and trusts them. The second technique of cross-promotion is to invite podcasters onto your show, but also get invited onto other shows. Oh my gosh, you're inviting me on your show? That is so funny. I've only asked to be on it like 500 times. But thank you so much. I accept. It's the most popular cross-promotional technique in the podcasting world, and ultimately, the most natural to listen to. It's true whether it's for a one-on-one interview or a talk show, it's your opportunity to introduce yourself and your podcast. And the audience will have time to get to know you, fall under your charm, and then eventually listen to your show. And you're more likely to discover a new show within a podcast that you're already used to listening to. I like her. She's got good ideas. Thanks. The podcast is above all a local media where a trusting relationship is created between the host, the audience, and the guest. With cross-promotion, you can take advantage of this particular link to make your show more well-known. The third technique for cross-promotion is to play with your RSS feed. The RSS feed is what allows the listening platforms to find your podcast episodes after you've put them on your hosting site. In order to do cross-promotion, you can take an episode of another show and integrate it into your RSS feed. That's a good tip. You just have to ask the lucky podcaster for their audio file and their podcast cover. Then, upload it to your host and let your audience discover a brand new podcast thanks to you. This technique is really good when you're on vacation. You already know that regularity is super important for the growth of your podcast, but you do have the right to a vacation every now and again and not produce episodes for a couple of weeks. I mean, trust us. We are a French podcasting platform. We know the importance of taking vacation. Right, Robin?
But we.
Basically, to avoid a drop in the number of your downloads, you can take advantage of this time and introduce your audience to a new podcast. There you go. Now you know the different types of cross-promotion and what they can do for you. It's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Now let's see how to set up a cross-promotional partnership. It's definitely not a good idea to be spamming every podcaster you know with emails morning, noon, and night. To identify specific podcasters that you can do cross-promotion with, you need to start with your target audience. Who are the people who will be most interested in your topic? Who are the listeners that you want to reach? Which podcasts share your same theme or subject matter? You really shouldn't be afraid to do cross-promotion with podcasts that have the same theme or subject as you. On the contrary, your respective audiences should enjoy listening to each other's podcasts. I mean, that's the entire point of cross-promotion. To identify your best podcast match, you'll need to do some research on the listening platforms to see who exist in the same category as you. You can also check out private groups of podcasters on social media. For example, try using the tool Podcast Audience Graph, where you just enter the name of your podcast and it'll generate a 3D map of the podcasts that surround your theme. I'll put the link in the description. It's super handy. Now you can send the emails to the podcasters you've identified. Send them a personalized email and clearly explain in your message why you have the perfect podcast to do a cross-promotional strategy with them. I mean, chef's kiss, amazing, 10 out of 10. We love it. Once again, it's a win-win situation, so make sure to highlight that in your message too. And you can always look out for podcasting events in your area where you can try to meet other podcasters that you might be interested in cross-promoting with.
Hey, can I come on your podcast?
What?
Can I come on your podcast? And you never know what could come out of that podcast relationship. But anyway, there you have it. Now you are an expert in cross-promotion. Maybe not expert, but you have the basics. I hope this video has helped you. If it has, please do not hesitate to like or share it, or share and like it, or both. If you want to know more about Ausha, our website is linked down there. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos. And that's it. Bye!